Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and today on Hercules and the Space Gods, we continue our adventure with the Cerulean Sphere and the first cosmic ray. And I have with me Setna of Kemet and Ammon. Greetings, gentlemen. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much, Hercules, and hello, Michael. Hello, Setnet.
Hello. I want to wish everybody a beautiful, wonderful equinox. I hope that it was a beautiful thing for you. I watched Venus rise and the moon right next to it as I began my ritual about 8:30 last on Sunday night.
Incredibly awesome.
It was.
Last night, Alex, Alex, Hercules,
Yes, of course.
Alex and I took a walk. We're here in Prescott, Arizona, and we're
Mm.
in the hills, and it's relatively dark, so you can see a lot of stars. Last night, of course, being part of the equinox, we saw a shooting star last night and made a wish. So that was very special for us.
Oh, that is fantastic.
And for me, this is the beginning of what I call Osiris rising. It is when Set closed the sarcophagus door on Osiris and began Isis' journey to find his body so that she could conceive Horus. So it's a very interesting time of great transition, of course, also from summer to fall. But it was a beautiful ritual. I think I sent on you on Facebook. You'll see the cabanas we were at, and I didn't show people the ritual table and things as much, but I did show you the space where we were working, which was very beautiful. It
Oh,
overlooks the pool. It's very, I guess, in a little way decadent because you have, the cabanas, the pool, the whole 9 yards, and that's how my life has become.
it sounds like there's a lot mythical and mystical going on with both of you, and that's a great thing. Really looking
Yes.
to hearing your thoughts about today's topics. First, let's talk a little bit about angels. In the original Greek and Hebrew, the word meant messenger, angelos in Greek and malach in Hebrew. And anybody could be an angel if they were delivering messages. So if I told Ammon, what do you call it? I haven't been able to get in touch with Setna. If you see Setna or hear from Setna, can you please tell him this? And Ammon says yes. He would be an angel in that function automatically. But angel no longer means that. It's taken on an evolution of its own, and it now means a particular class of being. So we'll start with Ammon this round. Ammon, what is your understanding of the word angel?
Well, the word angel is, of course, in the Greek, messenger. Um, I immediately, when I hear the word messenger, I think of a number of situations where angels have been messengers. Of course, we recall in the Bible how Gabriel was messenger to Mary, announcing that she was to have a child and to name him Jesus. And then also Gabriel announced that John the Baptist would be born as well. Um, and then also uh, one of the main functions of Gabriel in the Islamic tradition is that Gabriel was the one who revealed the teachings to Muhammad. So as far as Gabriel being a messenger, those are some prime examples. In the Urantia book, of course, my my approach these days to spirituality and the cosmic hierarchy, angels are very important in the administration of celestial governments, but they are also intimately linked with individuals whom they help and serve.
Thank you very much. And Setna, are you with us?
Of course I am.
In the Egyptian tradition that you speak for, Are there angels, or are there beings similar to angels who have a similar function?
They are called nomarchs. They are actually the archangels in Hebrew and Greek are in Egyptian. Duamutef, Neshta, who's also called Imset, Hapi, and Kebsenuf, which would be Raphael, Uriel, Ariel, and Michael. Gabriel and Michael, excuse me. So Duamutef is Michael. He is the purveyor. A nomarch is, as you say, a messenger. They are ruled by the god Thoth, Zehute, who's, I prefer to call him a scribe than a god. When things were to be said or predicament, things had to be worked out, proclamations were given, the nomarchs would come and they would bring the message to people. It's very much the same in a very, very ancient way. Um, Interesting thing, you mentioned Jesus as the word Jesus in Greek. If he were to speak to Miriam, Mary, he would have called him Yesu. In other words, Joshua, which is an interesting thing.
Yes, Jesus is Josh. That's what.
Gosh, yeah, Yesu, yes. So in Egypt, we always had them too. It would appear by the Nile or by a tomb. If it was to talk about a death, you had Anupu, Anubis, who would come and speak to the people to take the soul to its waiting room before it would reach its judgment. So this is very much the same as you have on the other side of the Sinai.
Okay, thank you very much. In Greek, the angels that are recorded by name, there aren't many of them are Hermes, Iris, Angelia, Hecate, and that's all I could remember offhand, but there may be one or two more. But those are the ones that are named, and then the rest of the messengers, the heavenly messengers, aren't named at all. And as you know, Hecate and Hermes and Iris have other functions besides their messengering. Hecate is the goddess of magic and crossroads and decisions and so forth. And Hermes is, of course, a psychopomp and an orator and an inventor, very many things. So again, those were other functions that he had. So, okay, we're starting to shape the concept here a little bit. Um, what are your experiences? Because both of you have experiences that you've shared in the past with the Archangel Michael.
Well, if I may, Michael told me I was named for him. My mother, oddly enough, there were no Michaels for 1,200 years in my family, my father's people. There was no Michael. And all of a sudden, my mother was going to call me Kenneth Michael. And my father said, no, he is Michael. And so, until I was 3 years old, I really wasn't aware of, anything as far as that went. But I was playing in my mother's kitchen with pots and pans and things, and I've told you this before. Suddenly there was a man behind us, behind me. My mother was downstairs in the basement in the laundry room, and I was playing, as some children did, with the tops of the pots and pans, spinning them like tops. And the man said, "This is very well good, and I'm glad that you are healthy and bringing it into realize who you are." He said, "But you're named for me. I am Michael, Michael. And I am an angel." Now, I was from a tradition that didn't have angels. I didn't know what they were. I never heard of one. I was 3 or 4, really three. I didn't know what that was. So I'm spinning the tops and things, making a lot of noise. And my mother hears a voice. She says, "Michael, who are you talking to?" And I said, "Well, he said his name is Michael." Well, I hear flying up the stairs. "Who said that? Where is he? Who? What? I said, "Mom, he's gone." And she said, "You're not supposed to open the door for anybody." Now, I was 3, I couldn't reach the locks. So the locks on the door in the kitchen were locked. He had come through the door, through whatever portal that happened. But he explained to me that I was of his name, as you are, Michael. And I put on my head a hanger and I put silver behind me. I said, Mommy, Michael said I'm an angel." And he said, "You're a what?" I said, "He told me I'm an angel." And she said, "Sometimes." And so Well, I was three. I looked like and I acted like Dennis the Menace. So I like taking things apart when I was three. So, but the archangel came to me physically, semi-physically. What I remember of him was I couldn't remember his features. I remember that he had on a red robe or a red something around him. I didn't see wings. I don't think, he didn't look like this. He didn't look like an angel with wings and such. This is a statue of the Archangel Michael. And, the armor plate. I created a spear for this particular statue, and it has on top of it a rose quartz, a pyramidion lance of rose quartz. Why? Because we know that rose quartz is love. And so the most powerful weapon besides the sword that Michael has is love. And so when I was creating this lance for the statue, I had to find something that was his power. And Michael's power, besides being a messenger, is the bringer of love. Wouldn't you agree, Michael?
Yes.
Hmm.
And now we'll move to Ammon. And I'm calling you Set and Ammon instead of Michael because it'll be less confusing this way.
Well, there's a lot of us Michaels. We're the most common name in the
Yes,
entire English language these
you're not
days.
even my only Michaels. I have more Michaels.
I can think of Michael Del Rusi
Yes, Michael
and
Cruz.
Michael Duncan.
This is Michael Duncan.
Hello, Michael Duncan.
Hey, hello, hello.
How
Actually,
about
my
your
middle name is
relationship with?
Michael.
Mm,
That was the name that my parents gave as my middle name. I've kept that. My first name currently, and now legally, is Ammon, the sun god, Amun, Amun-Ra, Amun. And I go by Michael though, because where I work and like at school and everything, it was just a little bit easier for me to be known as Michael. But I'm glad I am because that's the angel name. But as far as my experiences with Michael go, I really got in touch with the Archangel Michael when I really began delving more deeply into the Urantia book, because we are, according to the Urantia book, we on Earth, or Urantia, it's called, we live, move, and have our being and our evolution and our ascension within the local universe of Nebadon, which comprises about 10 million inhabitable planets. Well, that local universe of Nebadon is created and ruled and upheld by Michael of Nebadon, also known as Archangel Michael. So I really encountered Michael in that way, as far as the cosmic hierarchical structure of our local universe. But it wasn't until 2013, after a couple years of studying really in depth the Urantia book and being part of the Urantia book community, that my wife, Diane, recently passed in March. She had a really wonderful encounter, an actual encounter with Archangel Michael, or Michael of Nebadon, also known as the local universe, father of Nebadon, Michael, and the local universe mother spirit. They're co-sovereigns. So he came to her, actually she went to him, and from that point on, Archangel Michael, or local universe father, said that he wanted to start having celestial team meetings with us in our home, with the local universe mother spirit and other angels, other celestials. So we did that for a number of years, and actually some of those, a lot of those videos are on our YouTube channel, Michael and Diane Duncan. But since Diane has passed, I meditate and I pray to and with Archangel Michael every day, and the local universe mother spirit, as well as Gabriel, who is the bright and morning star. According to the Urantia book, he's the firstborn of the local universe father and mother. And Gabriel's consort, celestial consort, also known as Mother Venus or Aphrodite, if you're equating Gabriel with Hephaestus, which Diane and I came to equate the local universe father and mother with Zeus and Hera. Fortunately, as a result of our wonderful friendship with Hercules, he
I'm
plugged
honored.
us into the Greek, to the Greek equivalents of these beautiful celestial beings. So reading about Archangel Michael and then experiencing him through Diane vicariously, and then our celestial team meetings directly, and now a personal relationship with him.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Both of you have such wonderful experiences that you've related, and you both have spiritual missions that you're fulfilling by being here at this particular point in history. What part of your mission falls under the aegis of the Archangel Michael? I guess we'll start with Sedna this time around.
Go
Well,
for it.
I will say this. I have just recently created a .com, furniteru.com. I am a high priest, and therefore it was necessary for me to build, and I have now 4 temples, so that I have people that can bring the energy that we need to change things for the better in different places. I'm also online now. Our temple will be online. There'll be a website that you can go to find my classes and things. So I think of myself in a way as an angel, a messenger, because I'm bringing positive energy back in a very dark world right now. I think that we've had for the last, I'm going to say 15 years, a lot of darkness, a lot of people not sure where they're going, and very confusing, very negative things have happened. And we're trying to reach up and make that clean. And in my tradition, it's called ma'at. You want to have balance, and good and bad are there in both ways. You have to have chocolate and vanilla, don't you? So we want to put that positive energy in balance these days. Just a note, in pre-dynastic times, Ammon, was an air god. He came into the idea of being a solar deity during the 19th and 18th dynasty, where they combined him with the Lord of the Sun, who of course is Lord Ra. And it is my father, Ra. He is the reason I am where I am. My mother deity is Aset, the throne, Isis. And so those energies are very dear to me. And spending the positive energy out there to make sure that those things are done correctly is important to me. We've had a mess. People have been running around doing terrible things. Now we've got all these shootings and people being angry and over angry and reacting in out of control ways. Would you not say so, Hercules?
I would say so, and that's why we're sitting here talking about these things.
Exactly. And so that's
I'll join
I
them all
think of
together a little
myself
later, but first, let's get all the cards on the table so we can shuffle them around. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think of myself as perhaps the arrow in a bow. I want to be the one that targets the energy and sends it back into the universe so that it's pure and positive, and that so we reflect that energy. Michael is a very powerful energy. He's shining, and he is not, he battles negativity many times. In the Christian traditions and in the Hebrew traditions, they show him stepping on the head of the adversary, Lucifer, Satan, whatever you want to call
Or
it,
dragon sometimes.
of some sort, yes, but something negative. And I think I feel that way. It's my job to stamp out negativity and put what is question, what is confusion, what is chaotic into a place. I mean, I think comedy comes from chaos. So we need a little of that. And I'm very funny, so I know that. So I like doing that. But I want the good stuff. I want people to say good morning, not oh, how you doing, you know, or somebody will say how good morning, and oh, you really want to know how I'm doing? My flat tire. I don't feel good. I had diarrhea last night. My head just fell out. I don't know what I'm. Instead of saying, oh, I'm good, you know, look at the good side of things. That's where we have to be now. And it's been a long time where we've had um a lot of no, and we now to add yes. Amun, Michael, don't you agree?
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that, Michael. Absolutely. That's what I strive to be. I strive to shine the light of God, shine the light of God to everyone I meet.
I see that in
Ju-
your forehead. The way, well, I have acres of forehead, Michael, so it goes all the way to the back of my head. But I see that in you have a very awake, a very open third eye, as I do, and as Hercules does. It's because we are, how will I say, gathering the consciousness within ourselves so that we can then spread that out. I am a high priest. You are a priest. Hercules is a priest. He did not like that. Hercules doesn't like that word, but
Yeah, I don't class myself as anything. I'm just who I am.
you're the talk show host, the
There you go.
spiritual talk show
The
host.
cosmic talk show host.
Right.
So okay, so far we're all on the same page. But Amon, what is Michael? What is the Michael part of your mission? What part of your mission falls under the aegis of Archangel Michael?
Well, I want to echo the sentiments of Michael that you know, I strive to shine positivity and light in the darkness, generally, and to my family and others whom I meet every day. I smile and say hi to everybody. And I've been criticized for it a lot, over the years. Like, he's so happy all the time, and he just smiles all the time, and he's just so friendly. But that's just the way I am. I'm very positive. I have a Leo ascendant like you, Hercules. So
Mhm.
we kind of shine that light a little bit.
I've
Um,
been criticized for that as well, for being so
oh, have you?
positive. Yeah.
Yeah. But I too, Michael, have a temple in my home. I the My home in California that we had to sell and leave since my wife passed away was a place we called it kind of like an angel headquarters, a temple where we met with our celestial friends. Uh, my nephew and I, Alex, have since moved to Prescott, Arizona, and we have a really lovely home here that we're renting. But I've established a new temple, so to speak. I call it the Temple of the Father and Mother. Actually, it's called the Star Temple of the Father and Mother. The Father being Archangel Michael, Zeus, local universe Father, local universe Michael of Nebadon, and the Mother, the local universe Mother Spirit, Hera. So I have a huge altar here in the living room that was actually, what kind of still is, a Tao, Maitreya Great Tao altar. Their altars are geared toward the veneration and worship of Lord Maitreya in the Oriental tradition, the Buddha to come. But his I guess overseer in a way is Lao Mu. Lao Mu is she's like the equivalent of Gaia. She's like the mother. She's really high up there. So they work together on bringing peace and joy and love to the earth, and bringing us into a golden age, a paradise at some point. So I work through Lord Maitreya as well as the local universe father and mother, but I also have a smaller temple in one of my other rooms that has a smaller Tao altar with a statue of Maitreya and Kuan Yin and all of the gods, the Oriental gods. And that is called the Star Chapel. And that is dedicated to Gabriel and Aphrodite, whom I mentioned is his consort. And if you look at the ascended master pantheon, Gabriel, Hephaestus, would be likened in my way of thinking to Sanat Kumara, and his consort would be Mother Venus, basically. So, but it's Gabriel or Hephaestus and Aphrodite. Well, through Gabriel's work with me, my goal is to bring truth, to bring divine truth down to from them and spread that divine truth, whether it's through who I am or my speaking or my singing. I'm a singer too, and I write music. Divine truth, sending divine truth out to the to our world and to the universe through Gabriel, and then through Aphrodite, Mother Venus, would be spreading divine love, and they work underneath. They work underneath Archangel Michael or Zeus and Hera. So it's kind of like I'm working directly, I like to think, directly with those four in my ministry. So we'll see where that goes. But Diane, my angel, is kind of gone in a way, but she's still with me, and I'm working with her too, I feel, for some kind of new and upcoming ministry that I'm preparing for right now.
That is fantastic, and we all miss Diane. She was indeed an angel and a light in the world.
Yes.
I have two more questions, and then the cards will all be on the table. I understand where everybody's standing, but before I do, in Greek mythology, Ammon-Ra was Zeus.
Okay.
And when Hercules was seeking an audience with his father Zeus, who had not yet met face to face, he went to the temple of Ammon in Libya, which was a famous temple in antiquity. And he addressed Ammon, and Ammon told him where he can go to find his father Zeus. And Hercules did not realize at the time that the person talking to him was Zeus. So that's how that falls in the mythology. And he became Ammon-Ra when Typhon was let loose upon the world by the earth goddess, who released monsters into the world every now and then. I like comparative mythology, and in my own explorations, I'm very much for comparative mythology, comparative religion, comparative everything, psychology, because there are different ways of stating the truth, there are different ways of approaching the truth, and so forth. So the structure I'm trying to build is not a pyramid, sorry, Sedna, but it's a wheel. So each of the approaches that we're taking are like a spoke in that wheel.
I don't
And
see anything wrong with that, Hercules.
okay, great. I know, but the whole pyramid thing came from Egypt. But I want this to be a journey that anybody can take. So if they're more resonant with Egypt, they should go to you, of course. You know, what could I possibly tell them about Egypt that is greater than what insights you can provide? If someone wants the Urantia book or some of the neo-theosophies, who better to go to than Amun? You know, but I have my own way of looking at the universe, and it's temporary, it's functional. And what I'm going to try to create after the next two questions is, how can we work together, respecting each other's individual paths, knowing that they're not going to be the same, they're not even going to see things from the same angle, and that's okay. But how can we come together and use our talents to address the commonality of what we're all focused on, which is dispelling negativity and bringing more positivity, or dispelling darkness and bring more light into the world. So I'm hoping that by the time we finish in like 35 minutes, we'll at least have something that we could do together. And I've created a group on Facebook, and I know that you're not on Facebook right now, so I'll create.
I am.
Oh, you are? Fantastic.
Yes.
Friend me, and I'll invite you to the
Okay.
temple. Sedna's already there. Sedna posts there fairly often, so I know Sedna gets some messages. Okay, the next question is, what meaning does blue, the color blue, have for you in your spirituality? And what do you do with blue, if you do anything with blue?
It is the most powerful healing color to me. I use cobalt energy, which I'm using right now, as you see, to send energy to those who need it desperately. My eyes are blue. The robe I'm wearing is cobalt blue. Blue to me is completion, purity, wholeness, and perfect health. And I try to send vibrations every day to you, particularly, and
Thank
all those. I have a whole prayer circle I work with. Something else you just mentioned. I have a council that I'm working with now. Some of them are Wiccan, some of them are Santeria, some of them are Buddhist, some of them are Hindu, which of course came out of Buddhism came out of Hinduism. Some of them are Greek and Roman. Some of them follow
you.
Native American traditions. And what's wonderful is that we're weaving that together as a fabric of prayer, a fabric of energy. It's the first time I've done that. I have the Perinateru temples, yes, but this is a new thing. Anyone from any tradition can join with us. And what we do, we just did for the solstice, equinox, excuse me, I'm on the wrong side of the planet. The equinox was that everyone brought their energy through, calling the power above everything, the all high. Therefore, it had no male nor female connotation. It had a power beyond human sexuality, and it had a power beyond this little galaxy that we're kind of rolling around in. I want something that people understand. Many of the gods and goddesses, I'm going to be shot for this, but many of the gods and goddesses that people in my traditions, which are pagan, worship, have a lot to do with the earth only. Well, hello, folks. We are part of a universe. And it's important to take the energy from here, this little planet that we're on, and bring it forward through the entire universe and then back to us so that we can then vibrate with that energy. That's what I'm doing anyway, right now. And I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. That's pretty much in line with because you and I have had these conversations before. So
Yeah.
it's pretty much now it's like the action. So I'm glad that you've started that type of stuff already because I'm just getting to it now. So hands up, fingers up.
Well, I had no choice. I'm here in Savannah, and the people that are magical peoples, metaphysical peoples, are, shall I say, in the broom closet. They're afraid to be in. I wear a pentacle around my neck every day, and an ankh, and an eye of Horus, and a scarab, and several other things, and of course my little tiny eye of Horus. So I'm out there in the world. I'm out there
I'm out
in
there in the
all
world too.
aspects of my life. I don't hide who I am, and people say, "What is that?" And I'm very happy to tell them. Being a native New Yorker, I am very verbal and I'm very direct. I don't believe in fooling around or running around behind a closet. I'm going to come out and say, hi, hey, world, here I am, and I'm going to help you, and this is how. That's me.
That's good. That's exactly what I'd like to hear. So thank you.
Most welcome.
And Amon, how about you? What's your association with the color blue?
Well, my eyes are blue also. So Michael, we share that. My favorite color is blue. I wear blue all the time, not all the time because I try to match my colors with what the position the moon is every day. So I try to match colors, for what I wear with colors. I think the moon's in Scorpio right now,
Yes,
maybe. Yeah.
yes.
So I didn't want to wear black, so I wore something a little more turquoisey, but whatever. But blue is my favorite color. The Urantia book is blue. It's known as the Big Blue Book, and I really like the color that they chose. It's a really pretty blue. I also think that blue is a healing color. It's a soothing color. I like to be nice and calm and relaxed. I like the soothing nature of blue. Um, but along the lines of this particular radio show that we're doing, we're talking about Archangel Michael, and I've talked with Hercules about Archangel Michael working through the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray um, is the man of will. I'm just kind of reading here. The man of will, seeking freedom through mastery of self and environment. It is the ruler who rules through self-mastery and self-rule. And I think that the local universe of Nebadon under Archangel Michael, I think it is working under the blue ray, because I think we're in an ascension scheme, an evolutionary scheme where we are trying to seek that self-mastery so that we can ascend and be rulers of ourselves even on higher levels, which entails a lot of free will and a lot of self-government. So I feel that our local universe is right in line with the Cerulean sphere, or the blue ray, that the headquarters of the local universe of Nebadon, called Salvington, it's an architectural world that was built for the purposes of the father and mother creating and administering the local universe of 10 million inhabitable planets. That realm could be, or that particular sphere could be called a Cerulean sphere. And the arena, or the realm in which we are ascending through the blue ray, that whole realm or arena could be called the Cerulean sphere as well. Just something I'm putting in there, maybe positing. But blue for me is my favorite color. So
Blue
I
is my
love blue.
favorite color too. Cobalt blue especially is my favorite color. My eyes are blue as well, so we all share that.
There you go, cobalt blue. My favorite is sky blue. And as a matter of fact, my first car that my dad purchased for me was a 1967 powder blue Mustang, or sky blue
Very
Mustang.
cool.
So it was a nice car, and if we had kept it, it'd be worth a little bit today. But it was a nice car.
Okay, the last question is how familiar are you with the neo-theosophical schema, not the ancient theosophy of Greece, Egypt, and Rome, nor yet not the Blavatsky theosophy, not the Christian theosophy of the Renaissance, but the neo-theosophy that arose with the Ballards and afterwards. How familiar are you guys with that? I know that Michael Ammon is
Yeah.
familiar with it.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so there was a really nice book called The Seven Rays by Ernest Wood, neo-theosophical book. Of course, he was influenced a lot by Leadbeater and Besant, and Bailey, who were talking about the seven rays a lot. And um, I just wanted to read a little bit from his book, really a little bit here. It says, it was in the secret doctrine of H.P. Blavatsky that the modern world was first presented with the phrase, the seven rays. It went along with the statement that all things and beings in the world, all forms of mind and matter, arose from the combinations of seven fundamental impulses. It was maintained that the substance or basis of the whole world, objective and subjective, is spiritual, which means to practical and realistic persons something beyond thought. And in the secret doctrine, they talk about the Dhyan Chohans, who they are like the lords of meditation or the lords of light, which is a collective term for the hierarchies of spiritual beings in theosophy and other Eastern traditions. And they are similar to archangels or devas. They're described as intelligent, conscious agents that oversee and enact the cosmic and karmic laws governing the universe, guiding the evolution of nature and humanity. And there is a one Chohan, or group of Chohan, who are in charge of each ray. And these rays influence the evolution of our planet, as well as individual persons are working primarily under I guess, a major ray, or a most influential ray, with other rays being developed within themselves. And it's interesting, Hercules and Michael, because one of the things I really wanted to emphasize here tonight is that in the Urantia book, the presentation of the grand universe is that there are 7 super universes, and each super universe is a little bit different than the other based on the combinations of the Trinity, but that each super universe is kind of created and administered by one particular being who is an intelligent being, and they're called master spirits. So there are 7 master spirits, and each of the 7 master spirits kind of creates and administers each one of the 7 super universes. And they each have their different attributes for, ascenders who are ascending within that particular super universe. So in that way, it's kind of, I feel it's kind of similar to neo-theosophy.
You're absolutely right. And those are some of the topics that you brought up that we'll be exploring in future shows once we get the basic structure set down. So thank you very much for introducing them. Sedna, how about you? Are you familiar with the neo-theosophical
I
literature?
am, and remember, my grandmother was Lillian Barth. She was one of the 7 Barth sisters who were table tilters and who were very, very close friends of Helena Blavatsky.
Oh,
So, yes. So, my grandmother, by my own way, that taught me those things as Madame Blavatsky would have done. Now, I must mention something to you, and I don't know that you know this. In my traditions, in the Kemetic traditions, there is a goddess. Her name is Shasta or Shasset. She is the wife of Tehute, Thoth, Hermes. She wears upon her head a crown of a 7-pointed star. She is the arbiter of 7 different gods or guardians, and she brings her energy out so that all those will come from her. She is the goddess of literal physical writing. Her husband, Tehute, created language, created alphabets, but she enacted them. She made them happen. So between the god and goddess force, we have language, we have knowledge, and we have the ability to bring that knowledge back out to the rest of us. So I am very much in that way in accord with what you're doing. Shasset is a very interesting goddess. Many people don't even know about her. They don't know that she exists at all, but she wears on her head this huge star, like a Christmas star, and it has 7 points, and each one of those points points to a particular deity or a guardian or a no a neter neteru a neter a guardian, if you will, or a master who will then be an arbiter of those energies. So, in that way, Michael and Hercules, we are in accord completely. And that's why I do understand this. And that's why the council I'm building is working in that fashion. So, we're right on the same page, which I think is number 47.
Very good. So basically, to structure this part of the bigger picture, I'm focusing on the color blue or the blue ray or the first cosmic ray, call it what you want. But since we're all attuned with blue, it's a good place to start. In neo-theosophy, the blue is led by Hercules, so there's that resonance as well. And they have Amazonia as his consort, but Amazonia is another aspect of Athena. Lemnos, and I'm a Lemnian Greek, is an isle of Amazons, and there's a Lemnian Athena, which would be Amazonia. But again, there are different interpretations. That's just mine. And that works with will, mostly divine will. It'd be kind of like the will of the Thelemites, your true will. And part of what we're here to do is to find, refine, and manifest our true will. And by manifesting our will, we exercise creativity, and creativity is a more divine aspect because you're taking something that's invisible and floating around inside your head, and you're using your creativity and your mind to shape it and create it here in the physical reality. So creativity is a very important part of the blue ray as well. And your story about Shasat would confirm that with the crown. The crown of the Elohim is part of the neo-theosophical tradition, and we'll be teaching people how to use that later on. I played with various variations of it, and like with anything else, you play with other people's explanations and instructions, then you find what works for you and you stick with that. So we'll be playing with a lot of these things that transcend the culture that we're taking them from and become more universal. And Sedna, what you're doing is really great. You're allowing people in regardless of their beliefs. I make sure I post that on just about everything, even prayer requests. And I post those on Facebook periodically. And I found one from 2015 and then another one from 2005 on Facebook when I went through the old posts. So this has been a constant of mine on Facebook for many years, as well as outside of Facebook. So we're going to continue that. And what I started doing was I started visualizing the color blue with white lightning, which is another aspect of the blue sphere or the blue color or the blue ray. And then I've been putting blessings in there, like the blessings that I put down with the planetary gods in their days. And since both of you do things already to dispel negativity and to promote positivity, um, I'm not going to ask you to learn anything new or do anything new. Just do what you're doing. You're already doing it. But that we find a day that works well for all of us, and we do it on that day, and then we post it in this group that's been created for the color blue, as well as on our other groups as well, if we want to. How does that
I don't
sound?
know. I don't know if you can see it, but the Eye of Horus I wear is cobalt blue.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
wearing a 4 carat sapphire, and I'm wearing lapis lazuli, and the robe I'm wearing is also cobalt blue. And I carry, as you know, a holy cobalt, a very powerful stone, which I use to summon health. The color wouldn't be as bright or intense if it wasn't taking my life energy and sending it forward. I've learned to do this over decades and decades of practice. And I want to say something. Although I am Egyptian by soul, Kemet is more of a feeling. It's a region. Remember, you're Greek from Lemnos. I have some Alexandrian Greek in me, Greco-Egyptian, from a great grandmother from 1840s. She was 100% Greco-Egyptian. That's where my nose comes from. But again, putting positive energy out there. If you notice, Michael, I make people laugh. When you laugh, you listen. And when you listen, if you're really listening well, you learn. So if I'm silly, there's a reason, there's method to my madness. It works.
Like Merlin in Excalibur, the movie. That was my
Merlin
favorite.
is my hero, and I understand one of my ancestors on the Celtic side of the family.
During my early training, I met a spirit who claimed to be Merlin, who's very entertaining. And
Which one? There were 9.
this one was like a gaunt, lanky man with a long beard. He had a strange sense of humor,
He's probably one of the ones before the Romans came.
probably. But he was very wise and gave me very many insights that served
Good.
me well in life.
My ancestor was Melin, Meloin, like Merlin, but he came from the Isle of Man. This is about, oh, I don't know, about 400 or 500 years before Julius Caesar decided to set foot on the British Isles and then ran away in terror. He was scared to death of us. And I'm glad.
Okay. How about you, Amon?
Well, I wanted to go back to one thing that I just thought of. Well, not just thought of, but I thought of shortly after we finished our discussion of neo-theosophy and the arrays. That there's something that's really, really, really accessible to the general public regarding the 7 rays. You have pure white light through a prism being broken up into the colors of the rainbow. That's very accessible to everyone to understand the concept of that pure white light is divinity, and then when it breaks up or diffuses or manifests, it manifests in all the different colors of the rainbow, and we get all of the variety of this earth. Many things working through different colors and things. Um, Just like remember our discussion that the gods can become really accessible to the general public through through the superheroes, like Superman
Yes.
and Wonder Woman. Remember that discussion we had? I think there are really simple things right in front of all of our eyes that kind of show the process of God working. But as far as blue, boy, Diane and I, a number of years ago, 20 years ago or so, we were into color therapy. And we even have a couple of books on color therapy. And the color blue for color therapy is kind of a universal, it has universal uses, especially like for headaches or like neurological issues that you're having, that if you focus, like put a blue bulb in, try not to get the LED though. If you put like an incandescent blue bulb in and you just lay down and just relax, have it in like a gooseneck lamp or whatever, or even just regular lamp, and just shine it on you for like half an hour to an hour daily, that it can really do some healing. And we've tried it, of course. We've done a lot of therapies, code therapies, and I don't know whether there's a lot of placebo involved, but certainly it worked on us. So blue. And as far as like I'm not necessarily thinking of the color blue when I'm talking about this, because you mentioned something about daily practices. I just wanted to share something that I do every day when I'm, praying or meditating with the Father, Mother, and Gabriel and Aphrodite, is that number one, I tell them I love them, I thank them, but I also pray for the world. I say,
Good.
God bless the world. And you've played that song on your show, my song,
Yes.
a number of times. It's just God bless the world. It's like a mantra. And the music is layered, to build up to whatever. But that's one of the practices I do that I feel is very important, to throw that out into the ether so that whoever might be open to it might gather that in.
I do that as well. I do concentric circles. I start with me and acknowledge how blessed I am. Then I expand the circle to include my family and my household. Then I expand that to be my friends and my more distant family. Then I go back and extend it to be my district, then my borough, then my county, then my portion of my state, then my country, until it envelops the whole planet. And then I imagine myself of great size and the world is turning in my hands. And I use my heart center to channel the energy into the world and to any entities or incarnate people who are trying to make the world a better place. So okay,
Yes.
so you guys are already doing that. So I'm rather than devise something new, I'll just say that the three of us are doing this regularly, and then invite other people who might want to do it. And then if they don't know how to do it and they see guidance, we could have like instructional uh, episodes like this, or we could do a Zoom class, or we could do whatever. But let's just start with the fact that you guys are doing it, and therefore it's being done. And if anybody wants to learn more, join us, they can contact us. How does that sound?
Yes.
Beautiful. By the
There's
way,
also,
Michael, one of my guides is telling me that in order, not only using the name Amun, but you should also somehow add in there in your names. I know you have many other names as well, but you should also add Azure, which is French. It's blue. It's a kind of blue. It's a cobalt blue, an azure blue. And I think that energy is there with you. I saw the light of that color around you to protect you and also to comfort you. I
thank you.
also lost my partner 4 years ago. It will be 4 years ago, October 4th. Actually, yeah. And um, it's very hard and rough on me still. So, but I always surround myself in blue and white light to help heal. And I hear him that way, that he's there. And I will tell you that I see your wife's energy up on your shoulders. She's behind you, and she's hugging you and holding you. She liked putting her cheek on your cheek, your left cheek, so that you would be together, and then her skin would fall onto your neck, onto her neck, and her energy is there doing the same thing still now. She says to let you know that you must understand that she's never going to be without you, or you'll never be without her. That when your time or your cycle is finished, she'll be standing there waiting for you. And just to know that she's there.
Michael, thank you very much for that. I wanted to tell you, number one, the book that I'm writing is called The League of Azure Blue Angels.
You see?
Diane says she has told me that we're on our way to angelhood, being a part of the League of Azure Blue Angels. And also, I wanted to tell you that I had a dream about Diane about 3 or 4 days ago, where we hugged and we were cheek to cheek during our hug.
That's what I saw. She also tells me to ask you how Lisa is doing. And I don't know, I can't find or see Lisa, but there's a person named Lisa who you will
Well,
also encounter, who's important to you.
actually, my nephew's name is Alex, and I think it's Alex
It's
because
possible. She
yeah,
she
my
seemed a little distracted or such.
my wife and I took Alex when he was 1 year old after his mother passed away and the family collapsed. So we had been taking care of Alex for 18 years. He's 20 now. He just turned 20 in September. But yeah, he's had a rough road. But now he's in our home in Prescott. He's doing really well. He's very happy. We're taking hikes. We're going out together, and we've really bonded a lot more since Diane passed. So he's doing really, really well right now.
He considers you his father, and that's
Yes.
where that should be. You needed the warmth and also the very coolness of Prescott, Arizona. I live in a very very warm climate, which is extremely tropical and exactly what I needed. To me, Savannah is like my Egypt without going there.
Mm.
And Alex is very interesting. He's been on the show for years, sharing his very many interests, both spiritual and fantasy and science fiction and philosophical. So
Yeah.
we got to see him grow up a little, or hear him grow up a little bit over the years.
Mm.
Wow, I think this was a very powerful meeting we had today. Thanks to all of you for your wisdom and insight. And we accomplished a lot. We're all praying for the world and for its healing and using whatever techniques we were most resonant with and resounding with whatever knowledge we have gathered and find sacred. And we're all resonant with our purpose, although the ways we're doing it is different, which is good. That's perfect. So anybody have any last words before we close for today?
No, no.
I want to say thank you, Michael. Thank you for that. It was a real blessing. Thank you.
Well, go in power and go in peace.
Thank you.
Blessings. And Hercules, my energies are always there to support your energies as far as healing. That is my role as a priest. It is what I must do. And I do it out of love, of course.
I appreciate it a great deal. And Ammon has also conveyed a message from the Azure Angels that they're willing to do healing as well. So I
Yes.
feel blessed and I thank you both for your healing energies. And I look forward to working with both of you on this project.
And it shall be.
Yeah.
Okay, good night and good night to everybody who's listening in. Until next time, joyous journeys, amazing adventures, and know that you are loved, you are cared for, and that there are people, both incarnate and disincarnate, as well as other entities, who are watching out for your well-being. So take care, everybody.
God bless you guys. Thank you.
Life, health, and prosperity all